Chapter 41. After the Storm. The alley was silent once more. Only the faint cracks in the walls and the shattered ground remained as proof of the battle that had just taken place. Lin Chen stood still for several breaths. His chest rose and fell steadily, but beneath that calm exterior, his body was on the verge of collapse. Stage 7. The gap in strength was real. Even with the heaven-defying art and combat art, he had only barely held on. If the pale man had truly intended to kill him instead of capture him, the outcome might have been different. Lin Chen's eyes darkened slightly, but there was no regret, only calculation, only improvement. He sat down cross-legged on the spot. No hesitation, no fear of being discovered. Right now, recovery was more important than caution. The heaven-defying art began to circulate, faster, deeper, more aggressively than ever before. Spiritual energy from the surroundings surged toward him like a tide, violent, unstable, but completely under his control. His injuries began to heal at a visible rate, muscles knitting, meridians stabilizing, bones reinforcing, and more importantly, his cultivation was rising. The pressure from the battle had pushed him to the edge. Now, it was breaking through. A low hum echoed from his body. Lin Chen's aura surged. Body tempering stage 5. Peak. Then, cracks. Invisible, but undeniable. His foundation trembled, then stabilized. Stronger, denser, more refined. Lin Chen opened his eyes slowly. A faint glint passed through them. Not enough, he muttered softly. The breakthrough had improved him, but not enough to face that man again. He needed more. Faster growth, better techniques, sharper control. He stood up. His body still ached, but his movements were steady, controlled. He took one last glance at the battlefield, then disappeared into the city. An hour later, inside a quiet courtyard, Su Yan paced back and forth, her expression tense. "You're late." Lin Chen stepped in silently. "I'm alive." She turned sharply. Relief flashed across her face, quickly replaced by annoyance. "You call that a plan? Staying behind like that?" "I needed to test him." Her words stopped. "Test?" Lin Chen nodded. "He's stage 7, likely higher in actual combat ability, skilled in assassination techniques, fast, precise." Su Yan stared at him. "You're summarizing your near-death experience like it's a casual spar." Lin Chen didn't respond, because to him, that's exactly what it was. A necessary step. Su Yan sighed, running a hand through her hair. "You're insane." "Maybe." A brief silence followed. Then, her expression turned serious. "What now?" Lin Chen's gaze sharpened. "We're being targeted. Obviously. They want to capture me." Su Yan frowned. "Which means you're valuable to them." "Yes. And that's not good." Lin Chen shook his head. "No." He paused. Then, a faint smile appeared. "It's useful." Su Yan blinked. "You're planning something." Lin Chen didn't deny it. "If they want me, then I'll let them come." Her eyes widened slightly. "Are you trying to bait them?" "Yes. That's dangerous." "I know." Su Yan studied him carefully. There was no hesitation, no fear, only gold, precise intent. After a moment, she exhaled slowly. "Fine, but I'm involved." Lin Chen glanced at her. "Why?" She smirked faintly. "Because if you die, I lose a valuable partner." Lin Chen didn't argue. That night, the city grew quiet, but the shadows grew restless. Lin Chen sat in meditation within the courtyard, his aura fully concealed, but his senses were wide open, watching, waiting. Then, he felt it. A faint ripple. Movement.
1 presence. Then 2. Then 3. Lin Chen's eyes opened slowly. They're here. Su Yan, hidden nearby, tensed. Already? Faster than expected. Lin Chen stood up. Calm. Prepared. The trap was set. The courtyard gate creaked open. 3 figures stepped in, all dressed in black. Faces hidden. But their killing intent unconcealed. Lin Chen. One of them spoke. Cold. Direct. Come with us. Lin Chen looked at them calmly. No. Silence. Then, they moved. Simultaneously. Perfect coordination. 3 directions. No escape. Lin Chen's eyes flashed. Good. He stepped forward. Instead of retreating. Boom. The ground shattered beneath his feet as he launched himself at the nearest assassin. Fast. Aggressive. Unexpected. The assassin reacted instantly. But Lin Chen was faster. A punch. Enhanced with heaven-defying combat art. Landed directly on his chest. Crack. The assassin was sent flying. But the other 2 arrived. Blades flashing in the dark. Lin Chen twisted. Dodged one. Blocked the other. But still, a shallow cut appeared on his arm. Blood flowed. Lin Chen didn't react. Pain was irrelevant. He countered instantly. A sweeping kick, followed by a palm strike, forcing both assassins back. Then, a blur. Su Yan entered the fight. Her movements were swift, precise, lethal. A dagger flashed. One assassin barely avoided death, retreating quickly. The battlefield stabilized. 3 against 2. But Lin Chen smiled faintly. Too few. The assassins didn't respond. But their eyes were colder now. More cautious. They had realized it. This wasn't prey. This was a trap. Suddenly, a new presence appeared. Heavier. Colder. More dangerous. Lin Chen smiled slightly. From the shadows, the pale man stepped forward. Impatient as always. His gaze locked onto Lin Chen. You saved me the trouble. Su Yan's expression tightened. Oh. He's here. Lin Chen exhaled slowly. Good. This was what he wanted. All of you together. His aura began to rise. Controlled. Focused. Let's end this.
Chapter 42. Breaking the Limit. The air grew heavy. Oppressive. 4 assassins. One of them. Stage 7. Lin Chen stood at the center. Alone. But not alone. His aura surged slowly. Not explosive. Not chaotic. but controlled. Perfectly controlled. The pale man observed him carefully. "You've improved." Then Chen didn't respond. Because words were unnecessary. The battle began. Instantly. Violently. The three assassins moved first. Coordinated attacks from all directions. Blades aimed at vital points. Precise. Deadly. Lin Chen stepped forward. Not back. His movements were sharper now. Cleaner. More efficient. Every dodge. Minimal. Every counter. Lethal. Boom. One assassin was forced back. Then another. Suyan engaged the third, keeping him occupied. Leaving. The pale man. Lin Chen's true target. They clashed. Faster than before. Stronger than before. Each strike carried more weight, more intent. The pale man's eyes narrowed. "You've grown again." Lin Chen attacked. Relentless. Pushing forward. Forcing the pace. The heaven-defying art roared within him. Breaking limits. Rewriting them. So,
Lin Chen took it carefully, captured it, conserved it, then released. A rainbow light. A beam of power exploded from Lin Chen. A light bold. A light deadly. Exploded. A dark energy crushed into it.
Chapter 43. Ripples Beneath the Surface. The news spread quietly. No loud announcements, no public chaos. Operative, one of their core hunters, killed by a newcomer. Inside Old Mo's underground hall, the atmosphere was heavier than usual. Several figures stood in silence, their expressions tense. Old Mo sat at the center, fingers slightly tapping the armrest. Before him, Lin Chen. Su Yan stood slightly behind, watching everything unfold. You killed him. Old Mo's voice was calm, but his eyes, sharp. Yes. Lin Chen didn't elaborate, didn't boast, didn't explain. Just a simple answer. Old Mo stared at him for a few moments. Then, he laughed. Loud. Genuine. Good. Very good. The others in the hall exchanged glances, shocked by his reaction. That bastard from Blood Shadow Hall has been a thorn in my side for years, Old Mo continued, eyes gleaming. And you removed him in one move. Lin Chen remained silent, because he knew. This wasn't praise. It was assessment. Old Mo leaned forward slightly. But, do you understand what you've done? Lin Chen met his gaze. Yes. You've declared war. Silence. Heavy. Oppressive. Su Yan's expression tightened slightly. But Lin Chen didn't react. Instead, he spoke calmly. They were already targeting me. Old Mo's smile widened. Exactly. He leaned back again. This city is built on balance. Power. Balance is power. Factions watch each other. Restrain each other. And now? Lin Chen asked. Old Mo's eyes darkened. You've tipped the scale. A brief silence followed. Then, Old Mo tossed another jade slip. Lin Chen caught it. This is what you wanted, Old Mo said. Information. Lin Chen infused his spiritual sense into it. Instantly, details flooded his mind. Blood Shadow Hall, Fallen Leaf Branch. Structure. Cells of 3 to 5 members. Communication. Token relay system. Headquarters. Unknown. Known base locations. Multiple safe houses across the city. Leader. Unknown. Referred to as Shadow Master. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. Still fragmented.
Still incomplete, but enough. For now, Old Mo continued. They won't attack you directly. Su-yan frowned. Why? Old Mo smirked. Because they're cautious. They'll investigate first. Understand you. Measure your value. Lin Chen nodded. That gives us time. Yes. Old Mo's gaze turned serious. And you'll use that time wisely. Lin Chen looked up. Your next task. The jade slip glowed faintly. New information appeared. Target. Black Iron Mine. Outer District. Resource point controlled by a minor faction. Suspected infiltration by Bluff Shadow Hall. Objective. Investigate and secure control. Lin Chen's eyes flickered. Resource points meant one thing. Profit. Power. Influence. Old Mo watched his reaction carefully. This isn't just an investigation. It's an opportunity. Su-yan smirked faintly. You want him to take over the mine? Old Mo didn't deny it. If he can. Lin Chen closed the jade slip. His mind moved rapidly. A resource point. A contested area. And Blood Shadow Hall involvement. Danger. But also reward. I'll go, he said. Old Mo nodded. I expected nothing less. Outside, the sky was overcast. The wind carried a faint chill. Su-yan walked beside Lin Chen. Arms crossed. You really don't know how to take a break, do you? Lin Chen glanced at her. Time is limited. She sighed. Everything is a race with you. It is. His answer was immediate. Simple. Undeniable. Su-yan looked at him for a moment, then shook her head with a faint smile. Fine. Let's see how far you can go. Outside, the district was different. Rougher. Dirtier. Less controlled. Less rules. More violence. The Black Iron Mine lay just beyond the edge of the city. A large excavation site surrounded by crude wooden structures. Guards stood at the entrance. Rough-looking cultivators. Body tempering stage 3 to 4. Weak, but numerous. Lin Chen observed at a distance. Controlled by a minor faction, he murmured. Su-yan nodded. Iron Fang Gang. Strength. Leader has stage 6. A few stage 5 elites. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. Manageable. But his gaze shifted toward the mine itself. A faint, almost imperceptible aura. Lurking. Hidden. Blood Shadow Hall. He could feel it. They're already here. Su-yan's expression turned serious. So what's the plan? Lin Chan's lips curved faintly. We don't rush. He stepped forward. First, we introduce ourselves.
Chapter 44. Taking Control. The wind howled across the mine. Dust rose into the air. Two figures stood facing each other. Wukong, Lin Chen. The surrounding gang members formed a loose circle, watching with eager eyes. This was their world. Strength ruled. Nothing else mattered. Wukong cracked his neck. You challenge me, you take my place. His grin was savage. But if you lose... He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Lin Chen stepped forward. Then let's not waste time. Wukong moved first, like a charging beast. The ground trembled beneath his steps. His fist, massive, explosive, shot toward Lin Chen. Lin Chen didn't dodge. He met it head-on. Boom! A shockwave exploded outward. Dust scattered. The gang member staggered back. Wukong's grin widened. Good. Again. He attacked relentlessly, each strike heavier than the last. Brutal, unrefined, but powerful. Lin Chen remained calm, each movement precise, efficient, minimal. He didn't waste energy.
didn't overextend. He observed, analyzed, adapted. He's strong, but sloppy. Lin Chen's eyes sharpened. That was the difference. Wukong relied on brute force. Lin Chen relied on control. The next exchange changed everything. Wukong swung. Lin Chen stepped in. Close. Too close. His hand shot out, redirecting the force. Then, a counter. Boom. Wukong's body staggered. His eyes widened slightly. What? Lin Chen didn't stop. He pressed forward, strike after strike, each one landing with increasing precision, increasing power. Wukong's grin faded, replaced by shock, then anger. Don't look down on me. His aura exploded. He activated his full strength. The ground cracked beneath him. He charged again, a full force attack. But Lin Chen was ready. He stepped forward, centered, perfectly balanced. The heaven-defying combat art surged. Everything focused into one strike. Boom! The impact echoed across the entire mine. Wukong's body froze. Then he flew backward, crashing into the ground. Dust rose. Silence fell. Lin Chen stood still, unmoved, untouched. Wukong struggled to rise, but couldn't. His body trembled, injured, defeated. Lin Chen walked forward slowly, each step heavy, dominant. He stopped in front of Wukong. Yield. Wukong clenched his fists. His pride burned. His rage surged. But he knew he had lost. I yield. The words were forced out, heavy, bitter, but real. Silence. Then the gang members lowered their heads. Submission, acknowledgement, a new leader. Lin Chen turned. His gaze swept across them. Calm, cold, commanding. From today, this mine is mine. No one objected. No one dared. Su Yan stepped forward, a faint smile on her lips. Well, that was efficient. Lin Chen didn't respond. His gaze shifted toward the mine, toward the darkness within, the hidden presence. Still there, still watching. Blood Shadow Hall. He smiled faintly. Now, let's deal with the real problem. Deep within the mine, a shadow moved. Cold eyes opened. Oh, so he's here. A faint chilling laugh echoed. Perfect. The trap was set. And this time, both sides were ready.
Chapter 45. Into the Depths. The entrance to the black iron mine yawned like the mouth of a beast. Dark, silent, waiting. Lin Chen stood at the edge, his gaze steady as he observed the depths below. The faint metallic scent of iron mixed with something else, something colder, something wrong. Still want to go in? Su Yan asked, her tone lighter than her eyes. Lin Chen stepped forward. Yes. No hesitation. No doubt. Behind them, the Iron Fang gang members watched in silence. Their new leader had claimed the mine with overwhelming force. But what lay inside? That was another matter entirely. The deeper they went, the quieter it became. Even the sound of footsteps seemed to be swallowed by the darkness. Lin Chen's senses expanded outward, careful, precise. Every detail mattered. There are tunnels branching off ahead, he said quietly. Su Yan nodded. Old mines usually do, easy to get lost. Lin Chen slowed. Not just that. He crouched slightly, touching the ground. Tracks. Fresh. Multiple individuals. Moving in patterns. Not random. Organized. Su Yan's expression sharpened. They're using this place as a base. Or a temporary point, Lin Chen added. Either way, they had found something important. They followed the tracks. Deeper. Further. Until a faint light appeared ahead. Lin Chen raised his hand. Stop. They pressed themselves against the wall.
Listening. Voices. Low. Controlled. Shipment arrives tomorrow. Orders from above. The target is confirmed. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. Shipment. Orders. Target. This wasn't just a hideout. It was a node. Part of something larger. He glanced at Suyan. She nodded. They moved silently, closing the distance. The chamber opened up suddenly. A wide underground space, roughly carved. Several figures stood within, all dressed in black. 4 of them, stronger than the previous assassins. Stage 5. 1. Stage 6. Epicenter. A crate. Sealed. Marked with unfamiliar symbols. Lin Chen's gaze lingered on it. Important. Very important. What now? Suyan whispered. Lin Chen's eyes were calm. We take it. Her lips twitched slightly. Of course we do. No more observation. No more waiting. Lin Chen stepped out. Openly. Directly. The assassins tensed instantly. Weapons drawn. Killing intent surged. Who? Lin Chen didn't answer. He moved. Fast. Boom. The nearest assassin was struck before he could react. Sent crashing into the wall. Dead. The others moved immediately. Coordinated. Precise. Deadly. But Lin Chen was faster. Sharper. Stronger. After the breakthrough, everything had changed. One attacked from the left. Lin Chen sidestepped. Countered. Crack. Neck broken. Another from behind. He turned. Bomb strike. Boom. Body shattered against the ground. Suyan joined in. Her movements were fluid. Efficient. A flash of her blade. One more assassin fell. Only one remained. The Stage 6 leader. His expression was cold, but cautious. You? He stared at Lin Chen. He didn't deny it. Drop the crate. The man's eyes flickered. Then, he laughed. You think you can stop this? Lin Chen stepped forward. Yes. The man's aura surged. Dark. Sharp. Dangerous. He attacked. Faster than the others. Stronger. More precise. But Lin Chen met him head on. Their clash shook the chamber. Stone cracked. Dust fell. But this time, the difference was clear. Lin Chen dominated. Every exchange pushed the man back. Every strike broke his defense. Impossible. The assassin's voice trembled. You were only Stage 5. Lin Chen didn't respond. Because that version of him no longer existed. The final exchange ended it. Lin Chen stepped in. A single, decisive strike. Boom. The man's body slammed into the ground. Lifeless. Silence. Complete. Suyan exhaled slowly. You're getting ridiculous. Lin Chen didn't respond. His gaze was on the grate. He approached it slowly. Carefully. There were markings. Seals. Not simple ones. Formation-based. He frowned slightly. This isn't ordinary. Suyan crouched beside him. Can you open it? Lin Chen placed his hand on the surface. Closed his eyes. The heaven-defying heart circulated. He analyzed. Understood. Then, he smiled faintly. Yes. The seal broke. Quietly. Cleanly. The grate opened. Inside, several items. Dark tokens. Scrolls. And a small black vial. Sealed tightly. But even through the container, Lin Chen could feel it. A chilling aura. Corrupt. Dangerous. Suyan's expression changed. That's not normal. Lin Chen nodded. It's not. He picked up one of the tokens. Blood Shadow Hall insignia. Higher rank. Then the scrolls. Detailed records. Names. Locations. Targets. And something else. His eyes narrowed. Smuggling routes. Suyan blinked. They're running an operation through the city. Yes. Lin Chen's gaze turned cold. This isn't just assassination. It's control. Suddenly, a faint sound echoed. From deeper within the mine. Lin Chen snapped up. We're not alone. Suyan tensed. You feel it too? Yes. Stronger. Much stronger. Than before. Lin Chen's arm tightened slightly. Take the crate. Suyan didn't argue. She lifted it immediately. What about you? Lin Chen looked into the darkness. His eyes. Calm. But sharp. I'll handle what's coming. The sound grew louder. Slow. Measured footsteps. Each one. Heavy. Deliberate. A figure emerged from the shadows. Tall. Cloaked. Face hidden. But the aura. Oppressive. Far beyond stage 6. Lin Chen's pupils shrank slightly. Stage 8. Or higher. The figure stopped. A few meters away. You shouldn't have opened that. His voice was low. Cold. Unfamiliar. Lin Chen stepped forward, positioning himself between the figure and Suyan. Then stop me. A pause. Then, a faint chuckle. Interesting. The aura surged. Darkness thickened. The temperature dropped.
Chapter 46. Clash in the Abyss. The underground chamber trembled. Two auras collided. One. Cold, deep, unfathomable. The other. Sharp, rising, unyielding. Lin Chen stood firm, facing an opponent beyond his current limits, but his eyes showed no fear. The cloaked figure moved first. No warning, no build-up, just gone. Lin Chen's instincts exploded. He shifted. Barely. A black blade of energy sliced past him, cutting into the stone behind. Effortless. Deadly. Too fast. Lin Chen's mind reacted instantly. He countered. A full-force strike. But the figure vanished again. Reappearing behind him. Another attack. Closer. Sharper. More precise. Lin Chen twisted, blocked, but was pushed back. His feet dragged across the ground. A thin line of blood appeared at the corner of his mouth.
The figure paused, observing. You survived. Lin Chen steadied himself. Yes. Impressive. The voice held no emotion, only fact. Then, the attacks resumed, faster, more relentless. Each strike aimed to kill. Lin Chen responded, adapting, learning. Every exchange, refining his movements, improving his timing. But the gap was real. Stage 6 versus Stage 8. Not just strength, speed, technique, experience, everything. A strike slipped through. Crack. Lin Chen was sent crashing into the wall. Dust exploded. His vision blurred for a moment. Pain surged through his body. Lin Chen, Suyan shouted. He raised a hand. Go. She rose. No. Go. This time. His voice carried authority. Absolute. She hesitated, then clenched her teeth, and ran. Taking the crate. The cloaked figure didn't pursue. Instead, he looked at Lin Chen. You're buying time. Yes. Pointless. Maybe. Lin Chen stood up slowly, blood dripping from his arm. But his posture, still steady, still unbroken. The heaven-defying odd roared. Faster. More violently than ever before. His body screamed. His meridians strained. But he didn't stop. He pushed further. Beyond limits. Beyond safety. The cloaked figure tilted his head slightly. You're forcing it. Lin Chen smiled faintly. Yes. Then, he moved. Not defensively. Not cautiously. But aggressively. All in. Boom. Their glass shook the entire mine. Lin Chen's strength surged. Unstable. But explosive. He struck. Again. And again. Each blow. Heavier than the last. The cloaked figure's eyes narrowed slightly. You're breaking yourself. Lin Chen didn't respond. Because it didn't matter. Another exchange. Another impact. And then, something changed. A crack. Not outside. Inside. His aura. Spiked. Violent. Uncontrolled. Then, stabilized. The cloaked figure's eyes widened slightly. Again. Body tempering stage 6. Peak. Borderline stage 7. Lin Chen's eyes burned. His movements. Sharper. Faster. Stronger. He attacked. Relentless. Dominating. Forcing the cloaked figure back. For the first time, a strike landed. Solid. Direct. Boom. The cloaked figure slid back slightly. A faint tear in his cloak. Silence. Brief. Heavy. Then, a low laugh. Good. The aura surged again.
Darker. Heavier. More dangerous. You've earned this. The pressure increased. Exponentially. Lin Chen felt it. This was the real power. But he didn't step back. Didn't hesitate. Instead, he smiled. Gold. Sharp. Finally, the battle was far from over. But one thing was clear. Lin Chen was no longer the hunted. He was becoming something else. Something far more dangerous.
Chapter 47. Edge of Destruction. The mine groaned under the pressure. Cracks spread across the walls like spider webs as the two figures clashed again and again. Lin Chen's breathing had grown heavier. Blood stained his sleeve. His muscles screamed, but his eyes burned brighter than ever. The cloaked figure stepped forward slowly, his presence pressing down like a mountain. "You're reaching your limit." His voice was calm, certain. Lin Chen wiped the blood from his lips. Not yet. The heaven-defying art surged violently within him, too violently. His meridians trembled under the strain. His body was beginning to break. But he didn't stop, couldn't stop, because this was the only way forward. The cloaked figure moved, faster than before, a killing strike, straight for Lin Chen's throat. Lin Chen reacted, but slower this time, too slow. The attack grazed him. A deep cut opened across his shoulder. Blood spilled. "Your body can't keep up anymore," the figure said coldly. Lin Chen staggered slightly, then steadied himself. His grip tightened. "Then I'll force it to." He stepped forward, again and again, each step heavier than the last, but also more resolute. The next clash was different. Lin Chen didn't hold back, didn't conserve, didn't calculate. He poured everything into one point. Boom! The impact shook the entire chamber. For a brief moment, the cloaked figure was forced back. Just one step, but that single step was enough. His eyes narrowed. "You're insane." Lin Chen smiled faintly. Maybe. But then, the backlash came. His body trembled violently, his vision blurred, his aura fluctuated, unstable, dangerous. The cloaked figure sighed and moved, then died. A killing strike descended, unavoidable, unstoppable. Lin Chan's pupils shrank. His body wouldn't move, his meridians locked, his strength fading. So this is it. For a split second, time seemed to slow. Then, something deep within him stirred, the heaven-defying stone. A pulse, low, ancient, unfathomable. Time snapped back. Lin Chen's eyes changed. A faint, almost imperceptible glow flickered within them, cold, detached, absolute. His body moved, not forced, not strained, but perfect. The killing strike was caught, effortlessly. The cloaked figure's eyes widened. Impossible. Lin Chen stood straight, all instability gone, all weakness gone, his aura calm, too calm. "What are you?" the cloaked figure whispered. Lin Chen didn't answer, because even he didn't fully know. He stepped forward, one step,
but that step carried overwhelming pressure. The cloaked figure retreated instinctively. For the first time, fear flickered in his eyes. Lin Chen attacked. Simple, direct, a single strike. Boom! The cloaked figure was high flying, crashing through layers of stone. Blood sprayed, his aura shattered. Silence. Absolute. Lin Chen stood still. The glow in his eyes flickered, then faded. His body trembled. Violently, the suppressed damage returned all at once. Too much, he muttered faintly. The power hadn't been his, not completely. But it had been enough. With effort, he stood, barely, unstable, but alive. The chamber was collapsing, stone falling. The mine was coming down. Lin Chen turned and walked, slowly, step by step, toward the exit. Behind him, deep within the rubble, a faint movement. The cloaked figure, still alive, barely, his eyes open slightly, filled with shock, and something else. Fear. That thing. Then, darkness took in.
Chapter 48. Aftermath and Ascension. The mine collapsed behind him. Dust and debris surged outward as Lin Chen emerged into the open air. The sky above felt distant, unreal. He staggered forward, then stopped, barely standing. Lin Chen. Su-Yan rushed toward him, the crate already secured. Her expression changed instantly when she saw him. What happened to you? Lin Chen didn't answer immediately, because he couldn't. His body was at its limit. She caught him before he fell, supporting his weight, her usual composure gone, replaced by urgency. You're injured this badly. Lin Chen exhaled slowly. Still alive. Barely. She quickly moved him away from the collapsing area, finding a relatively safe spot. Then, she took out a healing pill. Take this. Lin Chen didn't refuse. He swallowed it, immediately. A warm energy spread through his body, stabilizing, healing. But it wasn't enough. His eyes closed briefly. The heaven-defiant art activated. Even now, it continued. Repairing, rebuilding, strengthening. Minutes passed. Then, an hour. Finally, Lin Chen opened his eyes. Clear, sharp, alive. Su-Yan exhaled in relief. You scared me. Lin Chen sat up slowly. I didn't die. That's not the point. A brief silence followed. Then, she looked at him carefully. What happened down there? Lin Chen paused. Then, I survived. She frowned. That's not an answer. Lin Chen met her gaze. Calm, unreadable. It's enough. Su-Yan stared at him for a moment. Then, she sighed. Fine. For now, she let it go. Lin Chen stood up, slowly, but steadily. His aura, different now, more refined, more stable, closer to something deeper.
He had reached the peak of stage 6, just one step away from stage 7. But more importantly, his understanding had changed. That brief moment when the stone reacted had shown him something. A path. Incomplete, but real. He looked at the crate. Let's go back. Fallen Leaf City was waiting. Inside Old Mo's hall, the atmosphere shifted the moment they entered. Lin Chen, alive. The crate, secured. Old Mo stood up slowly, his eyes locked onto Lin Chen. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, you did it. Lin Chen placed the crate down. Yes. Old Mo approached, opened it, examined its contents. His expression changed slightly. So that's what they're doing. Su-yan frowned. You recognize this? Old Mo nodded slowly. More than I'd like. He looked at Lin Chen. This changes things. Lin Chen's gaze sharpened. How? Old Mo closed the crate. His eyes cold, serious. Blood Shadow Hall isn't acting alone. Silence. They're working with someone else. Someone bigger. Someone. Old Mo paused, then said it. From outside the city. The air grew heavy. Danger had just escalated again. Lin Chen's lips curved slightly. Not fear, not hesitation, but anticipation. Good, he said quietly. I was starting to think this city was too small. Old Mo stared at him, then smiled. A rare, genuine smile. You really are a monster. And far away, beyond Fallen Leaf City, in a distant, shadowed hall, a figure opened his eyes, ancient, terrifying. The stone has reacted. A slow smile formed. Find him.
Chapter 49. Gathering Storm. Fallen Leaf City no longer felt the same. To most, nothing had changed. The streets were still busy, the markets still loud, cultivators still fought, bargained, and schemed as usual. But beneath it all, something was shifting. Lin Chen could feel it, like a storm gathering beyond the horizon. Inside Old Mo's hall, the atmosphere was tense. Several core members had gathered, their expressions serious. At the center, the black vial from the crate, placed carefully on the table. Even sealed, it radiated a faint, chilling aura. Old Mo stood beside it, his usual lazy demeanor gone. This, he said slowly, is not something that should appear in a place like this. Su-yan crossed her arms. What is it? Old Mo glanced at Lin Chen, then spoke. Blood essence refinement. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. Explain. Old Mo tapped the vial lightly. It's a forbidden substance, created by extracting and refining the essence of cultivators, or spirit beasts. Su-yan's expression changed instantly. You mean, yes? Old Mo's voice turned cold. It strengthens the body, accelerates cultivation, enhances combat ability. Lin Chen's gaze sharpened. And the cost? Old Mo smiled faintly. Sanity. Silence fell. Heavy. Oppressive. Those who use it, Old Mo continued, gain power quickly,
But they lose control, their minds degrade. Eventually, they become nothing more than beasts. Suyan frowned. And Blood Shadow Hall is distributing this? Not just distributing. Old Mo's eyes darkened. They're testing it. Lin Chen processed everything rapidly. Shipments, hidden bases, smuggling routes. This wasn't random. This was organized. Systematic. Who's behind it? He asked. Old Mo shook his head. I don't know. But I know this. His gaze turned serious. If this spreads, Fallen Leaf City will turn into a battlefield. Lin Chen didn't respond immediately. His eyes rested on the vial. Dark. Silent. Dangerous. Power. At a cost. Destroy it, he said finally. Suyan blinked. Just like that. Yes. Lin Chen's voice was calm. But keep the information. Old Mo smiled faintly. Good answer. He raised his hand. A burst of flame appeared, and the vial was reduced to ash. The faint chilling aura vanished instantly, but the tension remained. Old Mo turned back to Lin Chen. You've done enough for now. Lin Chen shook his head. Not yet. Old Mo raised an eyebrow. Oh, they'll come again. Lin Chen's gaze was steady, and next time, they won't hold back. A brief silence followed. Then, Old Mo laughed softly. You're right. He stepped forward slightly, which is why his tone shifted. Serious. Decisive. I'm giving you something better. He waved his hand. A small box appeared. Dark wood. Sealed. Ancient. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. What is it? Old Mo smiled. A reward. Lin Chen opened the box. Inside, but deep, refined. What technique is this? Lin Chen asked. Old Mo's eyes gleamed. A movement technique. Shadow step. Lin Chen's grip tightened slightly. Movement techniques were rare, extremely valuable. It allows short bursts of speed, Old Mo explained, and more importantly, concealment within shadows. Suyan's eyes widened slightly. That's perfect for him. Old Mo nodded. Exactly. Lin Chen picked up the scroll. His eyes flickered. This would change everything. And the token, he asked. Old Mo glanced at it briefly. That's access. To, Old Mo smiled, the deeper layers of the city. The room fell silent. You've stepped into this world now, Old Mo said quietly. No more surface level games. Lin Chen closed the box, his expression calm, but his mind already moving. Good, he said. I was waiting for that.
Chapter 50. The Hidden Layer. Night fell once more. But this time, Lin Chen didn't walk the familiar streets. Instead, he followed a different path. Suyan walked beside him, her expression more serious than usual. You've never been down there before, right? She asked. No. Then stay alert. I always do. They reached the black market. Same as before. Crowded, chaotic, full of hidden dangers. But this time, they didn't stop. Suyan led him to a narrow alley behind one of the larger buildings. Quiet, isolated. At the end, a door. Plain, unremarkable, but Lin Chen could feel it. The difference, the faint fluctuations of formation energy. Hidden, layered, complex. Suyan knocked 3 times. Paused, then twice more. Silence. Then, the door opened. A man stood inside. Old, expressionless. His gaze swept over them, then stopped on Lin Chen. The token. Lin Chen had to get over. The
man examined it briefly, then stepped aside. "You may enter." They stepped through. The moment the door closed, the world changed. The air, heavier, denser, filled with powerful auras. A long corridor stretched ahead, dimly lit, silent. "This," Suyan said quietly, "is the real black market." Lin Chen's eyes moved slowly, observing, analyzing every detail. Figures passed by, each one strong, far stronger than the ones above. Stage 6, Stage 7, even Stage 8. No one spoke loudly. No one caused trouble. Because here, everyone understood. This was a place where strength ruled absolutely. They entered a large hall, and for the first time, Lin Chen saw it. Rows of stalls, but not ordinary ones. Rare herbs, high-grade techniques, weapons radiating powerful auras, strange artifacts, unknown items, and people who could kill him without effort. Suyan watched his reaction carefully, but Lin Chen didn't show surprise, didn't show excitement, only focus. "Welcome," she said quietly, "to the real world." Lin Chen stepped forward, slowly, calmly. His eyes moved across the hall, searching, evaluating. Then, he felt it. A presence, different from the others. His gaze shifted, locked. At the far end of the hall, a figure sat alone, cloaked, still, but the aura, familiar. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. He survived. The cloaked figure looked up. Their eyes met. A faint smile appeared beneath the hood. "So," the voice echoed softly, "you came. The game was far from over."
Chapter 51. Eyes in the Dark. The hall seemed to quiet, just slightly. Not enough for most to notice, but Lin Chen felt it. That subtle shift. That faint tightening of attention. Because the moment his gaze locked onto the cloaked figure, everything changed. Suyan followed his line of sight. Her expression froze for a split second. "That's him?" "Yes." Lin Chen's voice was calm, but his mind, sharp, focused. The man had survived. Not only survived, but appeared here, in this place. That meant one thing. He wasn't just an operative. He was important. "Careful," Suyan whispered. "We're not in a place where we can fight freely." Lin Chen nodded slightly. He knew. This wasn't a mine. This wasn't a battlefield. This was neutral ground. Rules existed here, even if unspoken. The cloaked figure rose slowly. Each movement, measured, controlled. His aura was restrained. But even so, it leaked out in faint traces, enough to remind anyone watching. He was dangerous. He walked forward, step by step, not hurried, not cautious, confident. The surrounding cultivators noticed. Some glanced over, then quickly looked away. No one interfered. No one spoke. Finally, he stopped a few steps away from Lin Chen. Silence. Then, a faint chuckle. "You're full of surprises." Lin Chen didn't respond. Instead, he observed, carefully, the man's aura, weaker than before, injured. Not fully recovered, but still dangerous. You should be dead, Lin Chen said calmly. The cloaked figure tilted his head slightly. And yet, I'm not. A pause. Then, you've changed. Lin Chen's eyes flickered. So have you. The man smiled faintly beneath the hood. True. Su Yan stepped slightly forward. Subtle. Protective. But the cloaked figure didn't react. His attention was entirely on Lin Chen. I came here for you, he said. Direct. Simple. Lin Chen's expression didn't change. Then you came to the wrong place. A faint ripple passed through the air. Tension. Building. The cloaked figure chuckled softly. You misunderstand. I'm not here to fight. That was unexpected. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. Then why are you here? The man's gaze sharpened. To make an offer. Silence. Su Yan frowned. An offer. The cloaked figure nodded. Yes. His voice lowered slightly. Join us. Lin Chen didn't react immediately, but Su Yan's eyes flashed. You're serious? The man ignored her. His gaze remained fixed on Lin Chen. You've seen it. The power. The potential. Lin Chen's mind moved rapidly. He knew what the mint meant. The file. The operations. The hidden network. You're wasting your time, Lin Chen said. The answer. Calm. Definitive. The cloaked figure sighed softly. I expected that. Then, his tone changed. Slightly. Colder. Do you know what you're refusing? Lin Chen met his gaze. Yes. Power beyond your limits. A path faster than anything you've experienced. Resources you can't even imagine. Lin Chen's lips curved faintly. And the cost. The man paused. Then, smiled. Everything has a price. A brief silence followed. Then, Lin Chen stepped forward. Just one step. But it carried weight. Intent. Decision. I'll take my own path. The cloaked figure stared at him. For a long moment. Then, he laughed. Soft. Low. Dangerous. Good. Su Yan blinked. Good. Yes. The man's voice was calm again. If you had agreed, you wouldn't have been worth recruiting. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. Interesting. The cloaked figure stepped back. Slowly. Creating distance. But understand this, he said. The next time we meet. His aura flickered slightly. Dark. Cold. I won't hold back. Lin Chen didn't respond. Because he didn't need to. The man turned. Walking away. But just before disappearing into the crowd, he stopped. The Shadow Master is watching. Then, he was gone. Silence returned. Su Yan exhaled slowly. I don't like this. Lin Chen didn't answer immediately. His gaze remained where the man had stood. Neither do I. But his eyes were sharper than ever.
Chapter 52. The Price of Power. The hall resumed its usual rhythm. But for Lin Chen, everything had changed. The Shadow Master, Su Yan muttered. That's the leader, right? Yes. Lin Chen's voice was quiet. But now he knows something else. She looked at him. What? He knows about me. Su Yan's expression tightened. That's not good. No. Lin Chen turned slightly. But it's inevitable. He stepped deeper into the hall. Su Yan followed. You're still planning to look around? Yes. Her lips twitched. Of course you are. They moved between the stalls. But this time, Lin Chen wasn't just observing. He was searching. For strength. For advantage. For anything that could close the gap. His eyes stopped at one stall. An old man sat behind it. Calm. Unassuming. Before him, several items. Weapons. Scrolls. Artifacts. But one thing stood out. A black ring. Simple. Unadorned. But the aura was strange. Deep. Concealed. Lin Chen stepped closer. Price. The old man looked up. His eyes. Sharp. Ancient. Expensive. Lin Chen's expression didn't change. How much? The old man smiled faintly. Not spirit stones. Su Yan frowned. Then what? The old man leaned forward slightly. His gaze locked onto Lin Chen. Blood. Silence. Su Yan's expression darkened. We're leaving. But Lin Chen didn't move. How much? He asked. The old man's smile widened slightly. Enough to matter. Su Yan grabbed his arm. Don't. Her voice was low. Serious. That kind of deal? Nothing good comes from it. Lin Chen looked at the ring. Then at the old man. What does it do? The old man tapped the table lightly. It enhances perception. Sharpens instincts. Improves reaction. Lin Chen's eyes flickered. Exactly what he needed. And the cost? He asked again. The old man smiled faintly. Life force. Su Yan's grip tightened. Lin Chen. But Lin Chen was thinking. Calculating. Power always had a price. The question was it worth paying? He looked at the ring again. Then, at his own hand, his path was different. The heaven-defying heart. The stone. He didn't need shortcuts. After a moment, he stepped back. No. The old man's eyes narrowed slightly. Wise. Su Yan exhaled in relief. Finally. Lin Chen turned, walking away. But his eyes were colder now. Sharper. Because he understood something clearly. The deeper he went, the more tempting the power became, and the more dangerous the choices. As they left the stall, Lin Chen spoke quietly. We need more information. Su Yan nodded. About the Shadow Master. Yes.
His gaze lifted slightly, looking across the hall. This isn't just about strength anymore. It's about control. And somewhere, in the unseen darkness, eyes were watching, waiting, calculating the next move.
Chapter 53. Threads of the Underworld. The deeper hall of the black market pulsed with quiet tension. Deals were made in whispers. Lives were traded in silence. Lin Chen walked steadily through it all, his presence restrained, his senses fully open. He wasn't here to browse anymore. He was hunting. Information brokers should be nearby, Su Yan said softly, keeping pace beside him. But they don't advertise themselves. Lin Chen nodded. They don't need to. His gaze swept across the hall, not at the items, but at the people. Those who watched without looking, those who listened without reacting, those who didn't belong, yet knew everything. Then, he saw one. A thin man sat in the corner, casually sipping tea. Ordinary robes, unremarkable posture. But no one approached him, and more importantly, no one ignored him either. Lin Chen walked straight toward him. Su Yan's eyes flickered. You're sure? No. But I'll find out. He stopped in front of the man. Information. The man didn't look up. Expensive. Lin Chen didn't hesitate. Blood Shadow Hall. The man paused. Then, slowly lifted his head. His eyes. Sharp. Calculating. You're bold. Lin Chen remained calm. Or efficient. A brief silence followed. Then, the man smiled faintly. Sit. Lin Chen sat. Su Yan remained standing behind him, watching carefully. Names have value, the man said, pouring another cup of tea, especially dangerous ones. Lin Chen didn't touch the cup. I'm not here for names. Oh, just direction. The man studied him for a moment, then nodded slightly. Smart. He leaned back. Blood Shadow Hall operates in layers. You've seen the outer ones. The hunters. The cells. Lin Chen listened without interruption. But above them, the man continued, are the veins. Su Yan frowned slightly. Veins? The man nodded. Operational channels. Each one controls resources, routes, and personnel. Lin Chan's eyes sharpened. Smuggling routes. Exactly. The man tapped the table lightly. What you found in the mine, that was one of them. Lin Chen processed the information quickly. So destroying it hurts them. The man smiled faintly, but doesn't cripple them. Of course, nothing was that simple. How many veins are there? Lin Chen asked. The man shrugged. Unknown. But in this city, he held up 3 fingers. 3 confirmed. Su Yan's expression tightened. That many. Lin Chen's mind moved rapidly. 3 operational centers. 1 destroyed. 2 remaining. Locations? He asked. The man chuckled softly. Now you're asking the expensive questions. Lin Chen finally picked up the tea, drank it, then placed a storage ring on the table. The man didn't even look inside, but he smiled, satisfied. Good. He leaned forward slightly, lowering his voice. 1 is hidden within the merchant district, disguised as a trading house.
Lin Chen's eyes flickered. Name. The man paused, then said it. Red Silk Pavilion. Su Yan's eyes widened slightly. I've heard of it. Lin Chen glanced at her. Explain. It's a high-end trading place. Rare items, expensive goods, nothing suspicious on the surface. The man nodded. That's why it works. In the third, Lin Chen asked. The man's expression changed slightly, more serious. That one? He paused. It's not for you. Lin Chen's gaze hardened. Why? Because it's deeper, hidden beyond the reach of most factions. Even old Mo avoids it. Silence. Su Yan frowned. Where? The man met Lin Chen's eyes. Under the city. A faint chill passed through the air. The deepest layer of the black market. Lin Chen didn't react outwardly, but internally, everything sharpened. That place was where the real power lay. Shadow Master, he asked. The man smiled faintly. Maybe, maybe not. Lin Chen stood up. Conversation over. But the man spoke again. One more thing. Lin Chen paused. You've been noticed. I know. The man's smiled widened slightly. No, you don't. Silence. Be careful, Lin Chen. Lin Chen didn't respond. He walked away, but his eyes were colder than before.
Chapter 54. Red Silk Pavilion. The merchant district was alive with light. Elegant buildings. Well-dressed cultivators. A stark contrast to the rough edges of the outer districts. At the center, the red silk pavilion stood tall. Refined. Beautiful. Deceptive. Lanterns glowed softly. Silk banners swayed in the wind. Everything about it spoke of wealth and safety. Hard to believe this place is hiding something, Su Yan murmured. Lin Chen's gaze remained fixed on the entrance. That's the point. They approached. Calm. Unhurried. A woman greeted them at the door. Elegant. Smiling. Welcome to Red Silk Pavilion. Her eyes lingered on Lin Chen for a moment. Subtle, but noticeable. What are you looking for today? She asked. Lin Chen met her gaze. Information. Her smile didn't change, but something in her eyes did. Of course. She stepped aside. Please, come in. They entered. The interior was even more refined. Rare items displayed elegantly. Soft music playing. Servants moving quietly. But Lin Chen saw through it. The guards. Hidden. The subtle formation lines. The faint killing intent. Carefully suppressed. Interesting place, Su Yan said lightly. The woman led them deeper. To a private room. The door closed behind them. Silence. The woman turned. Her smile. Gone. You shouldn't be here. Lin Chen didn't said. Then why let us in? Her eyes were cold now. Sharp. Because it's easier to deal with you inside. The air shifted. Multiple presences appeared. Hidden doors opened. Figures stepped in. Assassins. Su Yan exhaled slowly. Well, that answers that. Lin Chen's lips curved faintly.
Good. The woman frowned slightly. Good? Yes. Lin Chen stepped forward. I didn't want to search. I wanted you to come to me. The assassins tensed. The trap had been set. But now, no one was sure who it was for. The woman's eyes narrowed. Kill them. And instantly, the room exploded into motion.
Chapter 55. Silk and Blood. The moment the order was given, the room erupted. 5 assassins moved at once. No hesitation, no wasted motion. Blades flashed from different angles, aimed at vital points: neck, heart, spine. Perfect coordination. Lethal intent. Lin Chen stepped forward. Not back. Never back. Fast, faster than the others, more controlled, every movement precise. Lin Chen met him head on. Their clash shook the room, furniture shattered, walls cracked. Boom, boom, boom. The exchange was intense, relentless. But the difference was clear. Lin Chen was stronger. After his recent battles, after pushing his limits again and again, his control had reached a new level. The assassin tried to adapt, tried to find an opening, but Lin Chen gave him none. Every attack was countered, every movement anticipated. Impossible, the man muttered. Lin Chen stepped in, close, too close. A final strike. Boom! The assassin crashed to the ground, defeated. Silence fell. Only one remained. The woman. She stood still, her expression calm, too calm. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. "Who are you?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Just a manager." But her aura was rising. Higher, colder, more dangerous. Su Yan's expression changed. She was hiding it. Stage 7. Lin Chen's gaze sharpened. Finally. Chapter 56. Breaking the Pavilion. The first clash exploded. Boom. The entire room shook as Lin Chen and the woman collided. Her speed, incredible. Her movements, fluid, refined. Completely different from the previous opponents. She wasn't just strong, she was skilled. A true assassin. Lin Chen blocked, but was pushed back. His feet slid across the ground, his arm numb from the impact. "You're strong," she said calmly. Lin Chen steadied himself. "And you're hiding too much." A faint smile. "Of course." She vanished. Lin Chen's instincts flared. He turned, just in time. A blade of dark energy sliced past him. He countered, a full-force strike. But she was already gone, reappearing behind him. Another attack, faster, sharper. Lin Chen twisted, barely avoiding it, but a cut opened across his side. Blood flowed. He didn't react. Instead, he stepped forward, aggressive, relentless. He forced the pace, forced her to respond. Their battle intensified. The room couldn't contain it. Cracks spread across the walls. The ceiling trembled. Boom, boom, boom. Su Yan had already retreated to the side, watching, waiting, looking for an opening. But there wasn't one. Not yet. Lin Chen's attacks grew sharper, more precise. The heaven-defying art surged, pushing his body further. The woman's expression finally changed. "You're improving." Lin Chen didn't deny it, because it was true. Every exchange, every strike, was pushing him forward. But the gap remained. Stage 6 versus Stage 7. Not insurmountable, but real. The woman attacked again. A killing strike. Lin Chen met it. Boom. Both were pushed back. For a brief moment. Silence. Then, Lin Chen moved again.
This time, different. His aura shifted. Not explosive, not violent, but focused. Everything condensed into one point. The woman's eyes narrowed. "What are you?" Lin Chen stepped forward and struck. Boom. The impact exploded. The woman's eyes widened. As her defense shattered, she was sent crashing backward, through the wall. The entire pavilion shook. Outside, people turned, shock spreading. Inside, dust filled the air. Lin Chen sat still, breathing steady. His body, strained, but stable. He stepped forward, through the broken wall. The woman lay there, injured, but alive. Their eyes met. For the first time, there was no calm, only disbelief. "Who are you?" she whispered. Lin Chen looked down at her. Calm, cold. "Someone you shouldn't have provoked." He raised his hand. Power gathering. The final strike. But then, a voice echoed. "Enough." The air froze. A presence descended. Heavy, ancient, terrifying. Lin Chen's body stiffened. His instincts screamed. Danger. Extreme danger. Slowly, he turned. At the edge of the broken pavilion, a figure stood, unmoving, but his aura was overwhelming, far beyond anything before. Stage 8. No. Higher. His eyes, cold, unfathomable, locked onto Lin Chen. "You've done enough." Silence. Then, a faint smile. But now, the pressure increased. Crushing. "You'll stay." Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. The real enemy had finally appeared.
Chapter 57. The Weight of a Realm. The moment that figure stepped forward, the world seemed to collapse inward. Not physically, but spiritually. Lin Chen felt it instantly, an overwhelming pressure bearing down on him from all directions. Not like before, not like stage 7. This was something entirely different. His body stiffened, his breathing slowed. Even the circulation of the heaven-defying art was suppressed. "This is bad," Su Yan muttered from the side, her face pale. Lin Chen didn't respond because every ounce of his focus was on the man in front of him. "Who are you?" Lin Chen asked. His voice remained calm, but beneath it, tension coiled like a drawn bow. The man didn't answer immediately. He stepped forward slowly. Each step, heavy, measured. "You don't need to know my name." His voice was low, cold, absolute. "You only need to understand one thing." The pressure increased. "You've crossed a line." Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. "So have you." A brief silence. Then, the man smiled faintly. "Interesting." But there was no amusement in his eyes, only calculation. He raised his hand, casually, and in that instant, the air around Lin Chen froze. Not metaphorically, literally. A binding force. Invisible, unavoidable. Lin Chen's pupil shrank. Domain? No, not fully, but something close. A technique far beyond his current level. His body wouldn't move. "Lin Chen," Su Yan shouted. The man didn't even glance at her. "You're valuable," he said calmly. "To us." Lin Chen's eyes burned, even as his body remained locked. "Then take me." A pause. The man tilted his head slightly. "You're not afraid?" "No." The answer came without hesitation, because fear had no place here. The man studied him for a moment, then nodded slightly. "Good." His hand lowered slightly. The pressure shifted. Not gone, but redirected. Lin Chen felt it. A small opening. Just enough. His eyes flashed. Now, the heaven-defying art surged, violently, breaking through the suppression. For a split second, Lin Chen moved, not forward, but sideways, grabbing Su Yan, and boom! The ground beneath them shattered as he launched himself through the broken wall, out into the open. "Trying to escape?" The man's voice echoed behind them.
But Lin Chen didn't stop. He ran, not blindly, but with purpose, through the streets, across rooftops, into shadows. Every step, calculated. Behind him, that presence followed, unhurried, but inevitable. You can't run. Lin Chen's eyes sharpened. I don't need to run. I need time.
He turned sharply, changed direction. Then again, unpredictable, irregular, breaking patterns. But it wasn't enough. The pressure was still there, closing in. Lin Chen, Su Yan whispered, her voice tight. I know. His mind raced. Fighting was impossible. Escaping, unlikely. Then, he remembered. The token. His hand moved, pulling it out. A faint glow. A connection. To this place. To the deeper layer. If I can reach. Stop. The voice was right behind him. Lin Chen's body froze. Too late. A hand rested lightly on his shoulder, but that light touch felt like a mountain. Immovable. Unbreakable. Got you. Silence. Lin Chen didn't struggle, didn't panic, because he knew that wouldn't help. Instead, he turned his head slightly. Not yet. The man frowned. For the first time. What? Then, the token. Shattered. Light exploded outward. A formation. Activated. The space around them. Distorted. Twisted. And in the next instant, they were gone. Chapter 58. Beneath the Surface. Darkness. Not the absence of light, but something deeper, heavier. Lin Chen landed lightly. His body immediately tensed. Su Yan beside him, breathing uneven. Where are we? She whispered. Lin Chen didn't answer immediately, because he felt it. The difference. The air. Denser. The energy. Thicker. The presence. Everywhere. This, he said quietly, is below. The true depth of the black market. The place the broker had mentioned. The deepest layer. A faint glow illuminated the surroundings. Ancient stone. Strange markings. And figures. Watching. Dozens of them. Each one powerful. Far beyond the surface. Stage 7. Stage 8. Even higher. No one spoke, but every gaze was on them, evaluating, measuring, judging. Su Yan's grip tightened slightly. We're in trouble. Lin Chen remained calm, because panic would only make things worse. He stepped forward, slowly. One step. The pressure shifted. A path opened. Someone had allowed it. Follow. A voice echoed. Deep. Ancient. Unquestionable. Lin Chen didn't hesitate. He walked. Su Yan followed. Through the silent watchers. Through the oppressive air. Until they reached the center. A large hall. Empty. Except for one figure. Seated. Still.
Yet his presence dominated everything. Lin Chan stopped. Their eyes met. And in that moment, he understood. This man was different. Not just stronger, but something else. "You're the one," the man said. His voice calm, yet carrying an ancient weight. Lin Chan didn't speak, because words felt meaningless here. The man observed him, silently. Then, a faint smile appeared. Interesting. A pause. Then, "You carry something unusual." Lin Chen's heart didn't skip, but his mind, sharp. The stone. He knows. Su-yan tensed, but the man didn't look at her. Only Lin Chen. "Tell me." The air grew heavier. "What are you willing to become?" Silence. A question, but also a test. Lin Chen's eyes didn't waver. Strong enough. The man's smile deepened slightly. "That's not an answer." Lin Chen stepped forward. Just one step. But firm. Strong enough. His voice calm. Cold. Unyielding. "To decide my own path." Silence. Then, the man laughed. Soft. Low. Good. The pressure lifted. Slightly. "You may live." Su-yan exhaled quietly. But Lin Chen didn't relax, because he knew this wasn't over. Not even close. The man leaned forward slightly. But now, his eyes gleamed. "You're involved." And in that moment, Lin Chen understood. He hadn't escaped. He had entered something far deeper.
Chapter 59. The Game Beneath. The hall remained silent. But the weight of that silence was suffocating. Lin Chen stood still, facing the seated figure. Every instinct told him the truth. This man was not someone he could fight. Not now. Not even close. "You understand where you are?" the man asked. His voice was calm, but carried an undeniable authority. Lin Chen nodded slightly. The deepest layer of the black market. A faint smile. Partially correct. The man raised a finger slightly. This is not the market. A pause. It is what controls it. Su-yan's breath caught. Lin Chen's eyes sharpened. Control. That word changed everything. The man leaned back slightly. "You've caused quite a disturbance above," the man continued. "Blood Shadow Hall is moving. Other factions are watching. And now," he smiled faintly, "you've caught my attention. That was not good." "What do you want?" Lin Chen asked. Direct, simple. The man chuckled softly. "I like that." He gestured slightly. And instantly, a faint projection appeared in the air. 3 points. Marked, connected. "The veins," Lin Chen said. The man nodded. "You've learned quickly." He tapped one of the points. Destroyed. Then the second. Compromised. Then the third. Untouched. Lin Chen's gaze lingered on it. That,
the man said quietly, is the core. Su-Yan frowned. The one beneath the city? Yes. The air grew colder. And you want me to go there? Lin Chen said. The man smiled. I want to see if you can. A test. No, more than that. A selection. Lin Chen's mind moved rapidly. If he refused, he might not leave this place. If he accepted, he would walk into the heart of danger. The man watched him. Patient, unhurried. Why me? Lin Chen asked. A brief pause. Then, because you survived. Silence. You've faced them. You've disrupted them. And most importantly, his eyes gleamed faintly. You didn't break. Lin Chen didn't respond. Because that was true. But understand this. The man continued. This isn't a mission. A slight pause. It's an entry. Su-Yan's expression tightened. Entry into what? The man didn't look at her. A deeper game. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. Of course. Nothing here was simple. If I refuse? He asked. The man smiled faintly. You won't. Silence. Lin Chen held his gaze. Then, I'll go. Su-Yan turned sharply. Lin Chen. He didn't look at her. Because the decision had already been made. The man nodded slowly. Good. He waved his hand. A small object appeared. A dark token. Different from the previous one. Heavier. Colder. This will grant you passage. Lin Chen took it. The moment his fingers touched it, he felt it. A connection. To something deeper. 3 days. The man said. Prepare. The projection vanished. The hall fell silent again. Go. And just like that, the audience was over.
Chapter 60. The Edge of the Abyss. The moment they stepped out, Su-Yan grabbed his arm. What are you doing? Her voice, low, sharp, controlled, but barely. Lin Chen looked at her. Moving forward. That's not forward, she snapped. That's suicide. He didn't respond immediately. Because she wasn't wrong. But it's necessary. Su-Yan stared at him. Why? Lin Chen's gaze shifted slightly. To grow. Her expression hardened. There are other ways. Yes. But slower. Silence. That place, she said quietly. You felt it too. Lin Chen nodded. Yes. Danger. Real danger. Not like before. Not something he could fight through with will alone. Then why? Because that's where the truth is. Su-Yan stopped. Truth. Lin Chen's eyes were calm. About them. About the Shadow Master. A slight pause. And maybe... His hand tightened slightly. About this. He didn't say it. But she understood. The stone. Su-Yan exhaled slowly. You're chasing something bigger than this city. Yes. The answer. Immediate. Silence stretched between them. Then, she shook her head slightly. Fine. Lin Chen glanced at her. You're coming? She smirked faintly.
You think I'll let you walk into that alone? A brief pause. You'll just die faster. Lin Chen didn't argue, because he knew. She had already decided. The next 3 days passed quickly. Lin Chen didn't rest. He trained, refined his control, studied the shadow step technique. Each movement, sharper, faster, more precise. The technique suited him. Short bursts of speed, sudden shifts, unpredictable movement. Perfect for survival. By the 3rd day, he had grasped the basics. Not mastery, but enough. His aura, more stable. His control, more refined. His mind, clear. Night. The city slept. But beneath it, something stirred. Lin Chen stood at the entrance. The path, hidden. The token in his hand, faintly glowing. Suyan beside him, silent, focused. They exchanged a glance. No words. None needed. Lin Chen stepped forward. The ground shifted. A hidden passage opened. Darkness below. Deep. Endless. He didn't hesitate. He descended. Step by step. Into the abyss. And this time, there was no turning back.